Hello. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the energy coming up in January, the pivotal alignments, energy portals, the powerful waves that are coming in at the moment of light, and what it means to you and what you can do to align with this energy. So stay tuned. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sandra Ray. I'm an author, healer, and spiritual teacher. And I want to thank you for being here. And as always, for doing this work and for connecting with your angels and guides and being a source of light. So what can we expect in January? Well, January is a pivotal time, as I said. It's the start of a new century, but there are also some cosmic events coming up that are going to blow us away in terms of the energy, the alignments. So I'm going to talk a bit more about that in a minute. But what I want to say is not to become fearful about these changes, these transitions that are coming in, to know that all is well. We are being guided, we are being brought to a new level of being, and it is all good. Sometimes it can seem as if there is chaos. It's like the chaos that occurs before the calm ensues. And it's like if you are moving house, there's going to be furniture everywhere, there's going to be boxes, it'll seem like everything is in chaos, but you're moving to a better house or a bigger house. And it's exactly like that. It's going to seem like there's a little bit of chaos before the dust settles and everything calms down. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about that as we go on. So the first major event, there's a number of major dates, and I'm actually, to be honest, I'm not going to go through every single date in January because there's something happening every single day. But one of the major events that is coming up is on the 10th of January, where we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer on the 10th of January. So there is this energy, the Cancer energy is like this energy of the divine feminine coming up. And there's also the new masculine energy, which is like merging with the feminine energy. That's like a union between the two. And we'll find that the old patriarchal masculine energies are kind of dwindling away as this new, beautiful, divinely aligned masculine energy aligns and takes union with the feminine energy, and they're going to be working more together. It's not going to be one and the other, it's going to be like a union, the yin and the yang. So we'll have that coming up on the 10th. On the 12th of January is a huge event. Excuse me. We have Saturn Pluto alignment with the Sun in Capricorn. And I'm not an astrologer, but I think there's something like, I can't remember the exact number, but a lot of planets are going to be in Capricorn on the 12th of January. And when we have Saturn in Capricorn with Pluto aligned, it's like this positive energy for transformation and release. It's like a huge cosmic wave of light that is coming in, which I talked about before in a previous episode called The Great Awakening. I'll put a link below. But there's this cosmic wave of light that has been approaching the planet. And in January, on the 12th of January, it arrives and it's going to sweep the planet in the light. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. But first I want to mention about Capricorn, because Capricorn is all about structure, about leadership. It's about corporations, rules and regulations. It's about government bodies. But we're going to see with the energy of Pluto that a lot of this is going to start breaking down, and we're going to see structures that have been in place, structures that may not have been serving us, are going to start breaking down, and it's going to be replaced with new structures that are more beneficial to all of humanity, not just to the corporations or to the few. It's going to be beneficial to the many. So we're going to see a lot of that happening, not just in January. January will be like the tipping point, but the domino effect will be felt throughout the year. So according to Archangel Michael, which has been channeled through Celia Fenn, he says, you will see a powerful tension as old forms and structures are breaking down on all levels. And this is being accelerated by Pluto's influence, while at the same time, new structures are being initiated for the new earth. So the breakdown of old structures is a positive because it allows space for new, more beneficial structures to take their place. So this is going to happen on a global level, but also on a personal level. You might find relationships breaking down, you might find careers, you might find yourself leaving your career. It can happen on various levels. Even health-wise, you might find that your health maybe deteriorates before it gets better, but it allows for you to have new, more positive, healthy habits that you bring into your life. So it's not necessarily bad. It's bringing us to a new way of being and a new, more positive way of being. So it will be a gradual process. As I said, January will be the tipping point, and it'll certainly be felt on an energy level, first of all, and it'll be felt on a thinking level within our thought processes. And the next step will then be where we take action to shift and to change on the outside. So start asking yourself, what is it that needs to change in my life? Start asking your soul for guidance. Is there something I need to change? Because if you take action without having to be pushed or forced, then it'll be so much easier. So if you start taking action now to bring about the change, maybe it's that you start exercising, or maybe it's that you do something new, but tune into your soul guidance, not your head, not your mental processes or what you think you should do. Tune into what your soul is guiding you to do. So during this, it's important to stay grounded, to stay connected to source, to the angels, to your guides. Allow them to help you to navigate through this energy, because the powerful shifts that are occurring may knock us slightly off balance. You may feel a little bit unbalanced or off center, and I'll mention in a moment how to do this. But if those of you who are finding that old ways of being are breaking down, old habits, thought forms, patterns are breaking down, if you are clinging onto them, then it'll be a cause of suffering. If you're resisting the change, then that'll be a cause of suffering. So it's like trying to hold a handful of sand, and the tighter you grip it, the more sand pours out from between your fingers. You can't hold on to it. You can't hold together something that was never meant to be. So realize if you are resisting, how can you let go? How can you allow this? How can you ease through the change? And know that it will be felt on a planetary level, but on a personal level as well. But for those of you who are already doing this work, if you have been aligned with the direction of your soul, with what's coming, you may find that you've already started to make those shifts, those changes. And the more work you've been doing towards this, the more you'll find that you will ease through the process. So if you've been doing the spiritual work, and since you're here, my guess is that you have, no doubt that you've been actively releasing, you've been letting go of all the old stuff, things that don't serve you, and making way for the new to come in. And I know this is something we've really been working through in the Fiercely Spiritual Family, my members group, where we've been actively releasing the old, especially during the full moon, which is the optimal time for release, and allowing the new to come in. So if you've been doing the work, well done, but there's always remnants of the old that may come up. So be aware of that as well. It might be something really deeply seated that you've been holding on to that you might not even been aware that was there. So be gentle with yourself during this process. It is a process, and know that your angels and guides are there to help you. So the people who maybe haven't been doing the spiritual work, who haven't been awakened, who are suddenly awakened, it can be as if overnight people will start to wake up, and they will find that they've awoken to a new reality and a new level of consciousness that they haven't had before. And this might be shocking to some. It might be a huge shift that they haven't expected, or that just knocks them for six, and they find that it's just a completely new way of being. So our job as light workers, as way showers, is to hold space for those people, to be the light, to help those who are lost or confused, to show them the way, to show them that they can ease through this process. So to be that source of calm, that steady, steadfast light that guides them, to shore safely. And you might find that you are being called now more than ever to be that light, to open up to your gifts, to show others the way, to help others who are finding their way. And if you are finding that that's you, if you're finding that new gifts are opening up, but you maybe don't know how to use them, know that you will be guided. If you're working with source, with the angels, with your guides, you will be guided. I know inside the Fiercely Spiritual family, we have been working on activating our diamond light bodies and attuning to the diamond rays of cosmic spirit, which is a super high frequency or high level of angelic light, which helps us to do this work and to be the light. So if you've chosen to be here at this time, since you're listening to this podcast, no doubt that you are a light worker, you are a way shower. So it's time to claim our power. It's time to be the source of love and light for ourselves, but also for others as well, and to shine brightly and not to be afraid of shining your light, and know that you have great purpose. So if you're finding your gifts opening up, if you're finding new levels of your gifts opening up, and if you're finding people coming to you for guidance, for assistance, make sure that you are being true to yourself, that you are not shunning your gifts or that you're not walking away from it. Make sure that you are being gentle with yourself and loving yourself and giving to yourself first, because often healers and light workers, we give, but we forget to give to ourselves. So giving to yourself first. So that could be resting, it could be taking time for yourself, so then you have more energy to give back to others. So if you're finding that you do have gifts that you want to share, but you're not really too sure what to do, or you do want to connect with the angels, I would love to help you to open up to your gifts, to connect with the angels, to receive guidance. And I'm offering a 5-day free training series. It's called 5 Days to Connect with the Angels, where you can open up to receiving guidance, to connect with your angels, to feel their presence, to see your angels. And it's such a beautiful training. I really encourage you, if you're resonating with this, to sign up to it and to put in the time it takes to connect with the angels, because we often in our busy lives, we forget to connect, and it can only take a few minutes sometimes just to be in the presence of the angels and to feel their loving connection. And it's so worth it when we do it. So the live training starts on the 6th of January. You'll be working with me directly, so you'll get to ask me questions. You'll get to connect with others who are doing the training also. It's going to be so much fun. So click on the link below if you would like to join us, or go to sandraray.com/connect-angels. And I will see you then. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next week for our live sessions. Bye-bye.